We return now to our continuing series this week, Nigeria, Pain and Promise. Tonight, special correspondent Nick Schifrin looks at the country's massive economic surge, new millionaires, growing inequality, and those fighting to provide new opportunities for all Nigerians.
In Africa today, for the young, the hip, the rich, there's no better place than Lagos.
Nigeria is just the place to be right now in the developing world.
Tola Adabgo designs handbags for Florian London. Increasingly, her market is in Lagos. This is the world's fastest growing megacity.
Any international business, don't be shy of Africa. There's no Boko Haram anywhere, especially not in Lagos.
This is a nation of superlatives, Africa's largest population, richest country, and fastest growing economy.
I'm very sure that this will be the main hub in Africa when it comes to the luxury goods in the near future.
Straight from Germany.
Straight from Germany.
Anurag Shah sells Porsches that cost 600 times the average Nigerian's annual salary. The ultra-rich are growing at a higher percentage here than in the U.S.
We have luxury yachts, you have luxury aircraft, you have luxury wristwatches. Every luxury business in Nigeria currently is booming.
It's not only the rich. Between now and 2030, the middle class will grow by a factor of 8. Their spending power has made Nigeria the world's largest consumer of Guinness beer.
This is what they drink. This is Guinness 4-star. That's what I like.
Lagos here, you can see many things. This is where you can get what you want. I love Lagos very well.
Half the country is under 30. Smart young Nigerians have more money, and they're starting their own businesses.
These guys are entering the job market. And so if you don't cater for these guys, there's going to be insecurity for everyone everywhere in the world.
Tony Elumelu is one of Africa's richest men. He's trying to build the middle class by investing $100 million of his $700 million net worth in 10,000 young entrepreneurs.
The right sustainable way to intervene in Africa for economic development, for inclusive development, is to invest.
When I started initially, I did a free wash, so people were actually attracted to the place.
Isaduwa Agboneni is one of Elumulu's first entrepreneurs. She calls herself Nene, as in the founder and lead mechanic of Nene's Auto Care.
I was amongst the best 5 in class. I was like, wow, if I can do well amongst the guys, so let me give it a try.
Nene's invested $50,000 of her own money. Tony Elumulu's money bought an engine lift and will convert this hole into a proper mechanics pit. It will make her team faster and allow her to hire more people.
Doing this type of thing is still going to help the unemployment rate in Lagos.
My name is Titus Igwe. My name is Tobias Igwe. We are the Igwe twins.
Titus and Tobias Igwe are also Elumelu entrepreneurs. 5 years ago, the twins were mopping floors when their father died suddenly. They taught themselves how to cook.
It was a means of survival. We're doing it because we want to survive. Because there was hunger. Hunger is imminent, and there's no way help will come.
Today, they run Speed Meals Mobile Kitchen. Within a year, they hope to cook and cater for 1,000 people a day.
The most important part of the part that we love most, some mouths are hungry. Let's go feed them.
On this day, they give away packaged lunches to prospective clients, and they feed about 100 churchgoers. They are always smiling and always dreaming. Elumulu's $10,000 rented this new office space.
We're going to have computers in all the rooms. We are going to the moon with this place. That's exactly what it means.
Yes. The twins use their rags to riches story to motivate and mentor younger entrepreneurs.
We intend to use this story to encourage and inspire the next generation. If the twins can actually make it in this harsh economy, in this same bad condition I find myself, who am I? What is then my excuse?
And that's when the mentees sound like the mentor.
Because your success is not only success for you and your family. It's success for Africa.
And that is the only way Africa can grow. When young businesses and entrepreneurs begin to support other entrepreneurs, let the growth be a chain reaction.
If you succeed in employing 100 people, 1,000 people, you're playing your own part. If the fewer level of poverty, abject poverty we have, the better for everyone.
But that poverty is still everywhere, and the wealth gap here is among the world's largest. In elite neighborhoods, tuk-tuk taxis weave between mansions and share the road with luxury Mercedes SUVs. The rich build houses that literally look down on the poor who are getting poorer. In 1980, the poverty rate was 27%. By 2010, it was 69%, even though the country's wealth has increased dramatically.
Nigeria may be Africa's richest country, but here in Lagos alone, there are more than 100 slums, including this one. This is known as Makoko, where the houses are literally built on stilts on the water. Across the country, more than 100 million people don't have toilets, and only 2% have running water.
So the people live, below, the poverty line not because they are less, citizens of this country, not because they're less deserving, but because the government is failing to provide those services. As you can see.
Felix Morka is a community organizer for Makoko's 200,000 residents. The water here is filthy and smells of sewage, and yet young residents learn to swim before they can walk.
When the government that's supposed to provide those services is not providing those services, then obviously what you have is, a lot of deprivations. There's no potable water. There's access to healthcare, primary healthcare. The schools are completely private. There's no official presence in Makoko.
Morka accuses the government of rallying around the rich and penalizing the poor. 3 years ago, government-paid thugs tried to drown Makoko so it could be replaced with a fancy boat club.
You see a lot of wood stumps sticking out of water. This used to be the foundation of a house. One of the houses that was sliced down by the demolition squad. It was simply an unleashing of violence on the community.
While the government targeted Makoko, it endorsed what developers hope becomes Lagos's and Africa's premier address.
Nigeria, and specifically Lagos today, is where China was 3 to 4 decades ago.
David Frame has lived in Nigeria for 30 years. He hopes Echo Atlantic City is his legacy.
Echo Atlantic could be that catalyst to establish Lagos as that financial hub for the entire continent of Africa.
In the heart of this iconic city rises the new financial hub of Lagos.
Slick promotional videos envision a city of the future. 4 square miles, nearly the same size as Midtown Manhattan, all built on land reclaimed from the Atlantic Ocean, with 140 million tons of sand. Echo Atlantic is Africa's largest construction project.
In 10 years, what is all this going to be?
All the water that you see from here to the shore will be reclaimed and sand. So this will be part of Echo Atlantic.
This is building for the rich on the world's poorest continent. 400,000 people will live and work here. They've already sold nearly every plot without any government money.
And our model is live in Echo Atlantic, work in Echo Atlantic, and enjoy the facilities of Echo Atlantic.
The most important part of Echo Atlantic, in fact, the only reason it can exist, are these rocks. They're called the Great Wall of Lagos, and that is what prevents the Atlantic Ocean from coming in and reclaiming the land.
The wall will be 5.5 miles long and weigh 4.5 million tons. It will keep Echo Atlantic dry and keep Lagos safe from erosion.
Whatever the ocean can throw at us, and including the projected rises in sea level to the end of the century, this wall will protect Echo Atlantic.
Echo Atlantic's chief developer is Gilbert Chagri. He and his family are the embodiment of Nigeria's well-heeled and well-connected. He holds an honorary ambassadorship, and he donated more than $1 million to the Clinton Foundation. 2 years ago, Clinton and Nigeria's most senior politicians christened the new city.
They have reclaimed 5 million square meters of land from the sea. This is something, I'm telling you, there will be countless numbers of people coming here to study.
The construction is not without controversy. Before Echo Atlantic could be built, the government evicted residents who used to live on the beach. Frame says the neighborhood is better for it.
The police would attribute a lot of the crime that was going on in the area to people living in those camps. So it was very necessary to move them out.
But Morka and those who advocate for the poor believe Nigeria's priority should be building equity, not new cities.
You need effective balance. You must ensure that whatever policy that drives Echo Atlantic City, drives even further for the millions of people who are left behind. Unless that is done, then it becomes a very skewed development policy that advances the interests of a few to the detriment of the majority.
In 35 years, there will be more Nigerians than Americans. For so many here, there's so much promise and so much pain. Building the economy and bridging the wealth gap could change the city, the country, and the continent. Nick Schifrin, PBS NewsHour, Lagos, Nigeria.
And tune in tomorrow night for the next story in our Nigeria Pain and Promise series about the nation's crippling corruption.